aggressief wees nie asseblief.
Kom Els.
Van sy arm.
Are we live yet, Els?
Ons is.
Okay. What's happening? TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of you beautiful people on a live today. It's about to go down. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Looks okay. Everything's sweet. There's a couple of people that started joining on Zoom as well. If Big Sis can give us a thumbs up on our main group, on our Masterclass group, on our master. These things are delicious. I just had one of these things. It's like Turkish delight with a paper that's wrapped around it that you can also eat. But it's freaking sticky.
Kan nie dit eet nie.
Kan jy nie papier eet nie? Shit. Well, I ate it. So Albie, well done. You have completely addicted me to these. This is not a paid sponsorship, by the way. It should be. Okay, what's up? All you live people. So I'm going to kick off with a question that I really enjoyed last time around while everybody's jumping on. I'm going to give you the format, very simple and easy. We are not showing you slides and a prepared presentation. I feel the maximum value that we can deliver on these Q&As is from real life questions from you guys watching us. And if you have questions, please do post them as early as possible, because by the time we're half an hour in, then the questions are just too many. I can't handle all of them. Are they starting to come in?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So I'm going to jump straight into it. Tribal asked me, Uncle B, how important is employee lifestyle when you measure it against company values? So probably the most important leadership attribute that I'm trying to develop, but I'm getting better every day, is understanding driving lifestyle-driven employee, especially in sales. This works incredibly well in sales. I'll take Eddie, for example. He's one of our top tier salespeople. He's a lifestyle guy. He's got the Gucci shoes, the LV shoes, the M4. So it's that nice that you're also eating it. Yeah, on the live. Just open the thing. Let me see if you're going to eat the paper as well. So if you are, sorry, the terrible chewing in the background is Elsie here chowing a Vuma. If you are leading a lifestyle type of person, you know, the key word, imagine one day, the key sentence, imagine one day. So when I met Ed, I said to him, imagine one day you get to come with your own influence to work. You've got property that you rent out, passive income, which he's actively doing now, which, by the way, has created more headaches for him because now he's got tenants as well. But that's on another episode of our copy. So imagine if one day, and then that's how you sell the dream. If that person really believes in that dream, and if that person is in a vehicle, vessel that can help him achieve that dream, you need to give him the actual plan. How do we get you to that? So with us, it's reverse engineering the amount of calls that you make each and every day, the connected calls. So how many people do you actively speak to? It's not just all customer doesn't phone, you take it as a phone call. How many connected calls do you make each and every day with clients that will be engaging with you, leading to applications, leading to deliveries, and then afterwards leading to referrals. So there's a different hat that you have to wear across the process. So it's a finder's hat, a closer's hat, and a builder's hat. Now each skill is individually as important as the rest. But the builder, the one at the end, the one that very few salespeople actually, only the pros, can't take massive amounts of time to develop a script, to develop a strategy. Once you develop that, outperforms the other two. Now, that's on a lifestyle-driven type of individual. So someone that likes the flashy stuff, someone that likes the infos and the lifestyle. When you have an advancement person, so this is someone that values a position, values a title, values a point in the company where he or she leads other people. The love language is different. So when you find that person, you need to drive them a different way. So, for example, one of the cadets that eventually kicked ass became a sales manager. He leads two branches. He always wanted to be a manager. So the plot, the plan, the execution is a lot more different with him versus a lifestyle driven Eddie. The conversation is different. You know, before you can become an assistant manager, you need to actively hit the target and then prove to me that you can help five people during the month close at least one or two deals for that month where you came in, you saw what the situation is, you saw what the problem is, and then you figured out a solution for him or her. So with your help, you helping that person, the branch grew in sales, and that person saw a talent or a skill set in you that he or she doesn't have, and they value and respect. Because at the end of the day, if you're not working for a leader that you respect and that can continuously teach you new strategies, new tactics for you to carry on with your career and grow, eventually you'll seek it elsewhere. That's why it's as important for the leader to constantly be developing. Readers are leaders, and leaders are readers, which means if you're not constantly feeding your brain with podcasts, with books, with strategies and tactics on where your team is currently, right now, struggling, so that you can go and inject new information, new data, new strategic moves to outmaneuver your competition, then eventually that team gets bored, plateaus, your sales drop, and it is what it is. They go and seek validation, that need from someone else. Not sure if the questions started coming in. I'm going to quickly have a look. Zoom is up, waiting for help. Go. Everything is fine. I'm okay. Richie, 200. If I'm currently in corporate sales, how can I switch? We just posted a Corolla RXI on Facebook. And I know some of these dealers want me to remove the car off the platform and it's not auctioned off, but unfortunately we can't do that. So I'm just going to kill the calls as they come. But Richie, 200. If I'm currently in corporate sales, how can I switch to the automotive industry? So, a couple of things. Number one, why would you want to switch? Okay, is there a particular reason? Um, are you bored? Are you plateauing? If you are bored or plateauing, then perhaps you're not challenging yourself enough. The only situation, like the only real situation that I would advise someone to switch industries if that industry is actively being destroyed, either by AI or there's just a competitor that's crushing everybody and you've got no wiggle room, nowhere to. Before you switch, go and sit back and say, okay, my sales are down. Are you working hard enough? I don't know if you guys read my newsletter. A couple of 100,000 people read my newsletter each and every week. I post it on Sunday between 6 and 7, depending on other scheduled content. But one of the points that I made very, very clear is a guy like Peter, who walked about 20 kilometers from Soshanguve to Pretoria North the first month when he was a cadet because he didn't have money for public transport. No one knew that. He never complained. He never said to anyone, hey, can I catch a lift with you? Which area? Did nothing. He just walked to work in the morning, however long it took him, and then left last and walked to work in the afternoon, which, by the way, is not really safe. But eventually, one of our colleagues saw him in the morning, picked him up, gave him a lift, found out, trying to figure out why you're working. So now it's my first month. At the end of the month, when I receive my first salary, then I'll be able to public transport. That man suffered. So in any industry, I cannot teach you willpower. That's just, character and willpower is the willpower is God's gift to him. Character and the manners and the way he conducts himself, hats off, big ups to his parents. That did a fantastic job. But because he suffered, he's willing to go through the pain of learning new skills, and develop himself to the point where I said, in 20 years' time, kids that grew up in Silver Lakes with everything handed on a silver platter cannot compete against him if his belly remains empty. Sometimes it happens, I've seen it many times with salespeople. Belly becomes full, work ethic drops, start you know, missing on the things that they did to increase their sales, and then boom, it all goes down the drain. But if you are currently in a vessel in a company where it's not possible for you to crush it, if you put in the input, if you put in the input, or it's an industry that's being destroyed, then switch over. What's the best way to switch over? I always give this advice. Go and work with someone or for someone that is an actual operator. There's lots of, especially in the independent space, there are lots of founders that are still young enough. Not a lot, but there are still a few left that are still young enough, actively every single day in the trenches, between the sales staff, between F&Is, doing their thing and absolutely killing it so that you can see what an operator actually means. Not read about it or hear about it, secondhand information. The moment that you see that person, how they process issues, how they handle conflict, how they hire, how they fire, how they conduct a sales meeting, one of the most important skills that I've developed is handling a proper sales meeting. The energy that you have to inject in your team first thing in the morning is invaluable. Nothing else during the day can replace that. If you go and work for someone that can actively show you that, your career path automatically shrinks by 20 years. If you go and work for a corporate company where there's a VP who you never see is in this Eiffel Tower made of glass, that DP has a new car sales manager and a used car sales manager who got promoted because maybe long ago, pre-internet, this is typically what happens out there. That person was a hard closer, one-on-one action, but they don't understand. They don't understand technology. They don't understand that this is the most powerful weapon in the world if you know how to use this. It can make you money or it can ruin your life, whatever you do with it. But a good example that PVD always uses is a soccer ball. Um, you know, not to brag, but when I was very young at 16, I actually got selected for the under 21 Takis team. But that was many years ago, like 3, 4 years ago. But a soccer ball at my feet is probably going to account for very sore legs the next day, probably sprained ankles. But soccer ball in Ronaldo's feet, $1 billion. He did an interview, I think, last week, Monday, Tuesday, sometimes with Piers Morgan. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you watch. Absolute expert, top tier man that is dedicated his entire life to his physique, to the way he eats, to the way he trains, to the way he conducts himself at the highest level. He's won everything except the World Cup, and he explains why it's not important to him. But if you can land in a situation where you can see someone actively doing that, that's a key. Even if you have to work for less money for 5 years, it will shrink your career in terms of how much time you're going to take to become really, really good from 20 years to 5, and then you're going to kill it for the rest of your life. Nice question. Thank you for asking it. Twisty Bankroll. Twisty Bankroll. That's my new DJ name. If I ever become a DJ,
Music.
I've got the best freaking music taste. Jeez, I've got the best music taste. I don't listen to hop hop spinnacle like you.
I also don't.
Yes, you do. I've got proof. I've got proof. It's on your CD. So, Twisty Bankroll. Uncle Bobby, what is your best advice for a self-employed buyer with strong income, good bank statements, but absolutely zero credit history? Will the major bank finance based on pure affordability? So, good question, Twisty Bankroll. And the honest answer is, if you don't end up at a dealer that can perfectly submit the application, I'm talking perfectly submit the application, you will be declined based on no traceability. Now, perfectly, I'm not going to keep the cards to my chest. Perfectly means we have to be within your affordability ratio. So 30% of gross. If you're self-employed, you have to prove income on a bank statement for longer than 4 months, 20K and above. So affordability must be in line. Equity on the vehicle must be in line, which means if retail, for math's sake, if retail's 200, you can't go and buy a car for 280. Even if that car is super duper special and it's got the lowest mileage in the world, we've got an M6 at the moment that we're selling at 300% of retail, if I'm not mistaken, if it's not more. But it's a 2006 one lady owned a car for 13,000 kilometers, black in color, carbon roof, red seats. We posted it on our socials. We've got lots of interest. I even have, not probably, the richest man in Africa, his telephone number that someone sent me that said I should give him a call. He'll buy for his collection. One of the richest, probably not the richest, but one of the top five. So I'm just waiting for that car to come back from a major service from BMW. But your affordability, your equity must be in line, and the risk. This is important. The risk both on the car and you. So you are high risk. Even though you can prove 100K a month, I can prove 100K a month, I'm low risk. You're very high risk because the bank doesn't know. Historically, when you've taken out loans, have you paid them in time? Have you actually paid them? We don't know. So the risk is high, your interest rate is very high. But if the car's risk is low, for example, a high risk car in your situation would be a 2015 335 BMW for 399, where a low risk car can be perhaps a 2021 VW Tiguan 2-liter TDI R line. It's new enough. If they repo the car, they'll be able to sell it at a repo auction and recover the money. If it's a very old car, they'll say, if this person doesn't pay, reneges on his payments, we're not going to recover all our money. It's a decline. So the dealership that you apply for has to get this up. And many times I get customers like you coming, I want that car. I say, cool, no problem. You're allowed to use the word want when your ITC score starts with 8. Currently, it starts with 5. You're not allowed to use want. I will get you approved on a car that I know will approve you. I will give you that car 6 months from today. Once you have proven a good track record, you can call me again, or I'll call you, and then we'll trade in that vehicle and get you the car that we want because you would have built up your score. If you use want and the dealer falls for the want because the dealership is weak, you get declined, then you jump to the next dealer, the third weak dealer that allows you to use the word want in your situation and not to work with you, meet you halfway. You'll be blocked. It will be very difficult to approve. I hope that makes sense, and that's a cool question. Aussie Funk. Man, these are all DJ names. Aussie Funk. So my night gig will be Twisty Bankroll, and my day gig will be Aussie Funk. Uncle B, which digital platform generates the most leads, sales, website, WhatsApp, Instagram? So it's a great question. And I'm going to answer it in a way that you don't expect. The digital platforms that create the most leads is the ones we decide. So we have control of that. And even though it sounds weird, it will make sense in about 3 minutes. When we make a piece of content, we need to decide, is it a branding piece, marketing piece, or advertising piece? Branding, top of funnel. Okay? I want to sell 0 cars out of that. Like if we sell a car out of a branding piece of content that receives 1 million views, if we sell a car out of there, we have failed. The more I teach people this, the more I confuse them. But if you have a clear outcome for a piece of content that you're posting out there, then you won't be disappointed and you'll know if you're actually good or you suck. Every platform generates high quality leads if we want it to. Now, on the flip side, we cannot only be giving you advertising, bottom of the funnel content, because you unsubscribe, you get bored. It's ask, 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 ask. Phenomenal book. Everybody should read it that's watching this. Jab, 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 right hook by Gary Vee. Give, 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 ask. Then give, 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 give some more, ask. So if you see it that way, if you're creating a branding piece of content, Some of our stuff 60, 70. There's one video that got 100 million views across our channels. We haven't sold one car out of that video, but 100 million people know who we are. So it's like to the point where I'm recognizable in traffic. People are Uncle Bobby out in the gym at Mainland, at Viali when I go and buy some jeans. At, sorry? So when I go and buy jeans, when I go and buy shoes, and that's not because we advertise, but it's because we created branding content. Now the middle part, the marketing content, is as important because that gets conversation. If you go and look on our content, you know the stuff that has the most comments on, outside of the haters. But I'm getting a few less though because I jabbed them back. Yesterday, an uncle commented on one of my videos that I just talk. There's no talk, there's no action, it's just talk. So I went in his profile, I looked around, and I replied, okay, but it seems like, uncle, you are just cheeseburgers, fries, and Coke. Send. It was 2, 3 minutes to see if he replied. He actually went and deleted his comment. So the branding gets you eyeballs. The marketing gets you engagement and gets you people that ask questions. So now they want to find out more information, whether it be educational content that we post, we're teaching you something, telling a story, a crime story, whatever it is. Then the advertising, right at the bottom. When I say, if this is your flavor, shoot Uncle B a message, will deliver anywhere in beautiful South Africa. That is the type of content that we expect to sell on, but not the top one. So the least amount of views, the least amount of engagements produces sell. When we were marketing our masterclass last year, it was last year, last year, I said to the team, we're going to create a marketing campaign that 1,500 people max will see. 1,500 people max. I want to do 2 sessions at 20 people each. So I want to do 40 people. I want to train 40 dealers across the country. 2 sessions, and I'm going to charge 50,000 Rand per seat. Posted the content. I think 2,500 people saw it. We had to make arrangements and fill in spots. We ended up taking 22 people per masterclass, and only 2,500 people saw our content. But it's very directed, reverse engineered to your target audience right at the bottom. Super low views, very high conversion ratio. I hope that helps you, and I hope it just gives you a different point of view. And I'm going to leave you with this. If a post that you posted on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you post, YouTube, WhatsApp, if a post underperforms, it's not the platform that sucks. I want you to put your ego in your pocket for a minute. You suck. If you can accept that, you need to improve. For example, and I'm going to leave you with this, one of the best pieces of content that we've created, I think it took Elsie probably a week to edit. We brought in old adverts, the Amagluk ad, and we even had Rian Kruijwag when he was 105 years old, which was 30 years ago. We had him on. It was in the studio, best light, best camera work, best script, tonality, enunciation, music. I think that probably got 5,000 views, and it took us a week. Then what's funny is the very next day we had a competition where a lucky winner drove supercars with me for the day. On our way to come visually inspect the supercars before we paid the person the rental fee. On our way there was a choice of 4 or 5 vehicles that we could drive. And I said, no, let's go with the ST because it's so fun to drive. In the car, I'm having fun with this ST. I said to her, feel, third, fourth on the highway. She says, but you love this thing. So she whips out the camera, shit sound, shit lights, just in the car, said to her, don't show the speedometer, they're going to lock us up. Just talking how nice the car is. That thing gets like 800,000 views. I'm not blaming the platform for the first one. I would have loved for that piece of content to get 800,000 views and 5,000 views on the ST. I just my idea, and I lead the team, so I take full responsibility for time wasted. I just led the team correctly. I suck. The platform did its thing, and it knew the market decided whether or not that was good or not. I'm going to leave you with that. Okay, H213DPS. When buying Toyota new, does the year matter? Can I get it now or wait until Jan? It's a very good question, and I'm currently having a very heated battle because I've got a customer that wants to buy two, um, 4 by 2 2.4 super cab buckies. And my friends at Toyota do not want to give me the buckies with the birth certificate. Not yet, at least. So I think maybe 3 weeks. 3 weeks. A 10 permit is 21 days that it's valid. So I think if you buy first week of December, the dealer can pull a move and register it in 2026. But make sure that's on paper. So that dealership needs to quote 2026, take delivery mid-December or early in December, and then enjoy it for the festive season. But if that dealership goes and registers the car in December, they just screwed you with at least 50 or 80 grand. So just be careful when you do that. There are lots of good dealers that are prepared to meet you halfway and do that for you, but not all of them are. So good question. I hope my advice helped you. Sean Dana, are you allowed crypto payment as cash transfers? We don't allow it in our company, not yet at least. To be honest with you, 100% honest with you, I haven't went and done enough research into the topic. I understand what crypto is. I know how it works. I'm not a crypto investor. I don't own any crypto. Unfortunately, I wish I bought Bitcoin when they were 10 rand. But for now, I don't know of any dealer that will actually accept the crypto payment. We don't. Brandon, okay, can I ask a question, Uncle B? Sure. The work, the motivation, everything is there. I'm putting in the 60 hours per week building my company. My company is make it happen. Find what you are looking for. Okay, so I don't know what the question is, but if you're telling me working 60 hours a week as a startup, that concerns me a little bit. And I'm going to explain to you why. Anybody that spends time with me, anybody that really spends time with me, knows that if I'm awake, I'm working. Okay, here's what that means. It means when my eyes are open, they're on my phone, and I'm working. So 60 hours a week, perhaps you should bump those numbers up. I don't know what industry you are in. I don't know, is it a B2B or B2C? Even if I've handled all my WhatsApps, all my emails, all my training is done for the week for the staff, newsletters done, posts, stories, everything is done. Then do I plug in my AirPods and I listen to a podcast, I listen to a book. I'm always working. I wake up at 4 a.m. Here's my phone. I wake up at 4 a.m. each and every morning. Okay, my eyes are open. 4 or 5 is the next alarm because then I would have needed to take a pee already. Then I'm on schedule. It's my first win for the day. Sorry for oversharing, but that's how my brain works. Right after 4 or 5, I check my phone, shower, prep for the gym, in the car, in the gym, between sets, answering WhatsApps. I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, and 90% of the time, I manage to clear my WhatsApps. Sometimes it's very rough. If at 9:30, another 50 come in, quarter to 10, another 60 come in, and I'm like, geez, I'm going to tap. I'll grab them tomorrow morning. But when I'm in the gym in the morning, fresh mind, I'm working. So I don't want to call you out and say you're not working hard enough, but perhaps you should look at your schedule, especially at a startup stage. If you really want to get traction, you have to put in more hours. And that's my honest opinion. And I hope I don't offend you, but 60 hours, you need to bump those numbers up. Okay. What's your delivery costs to Durban? So we do not charge any delivery costs, no matter where you are in the country. We've got an admin fee of 6,990 that takes care of licensing, registration, DECRA, service, brakes, whatever needs to be done on your vehicle is done. Our rule at the depot is If you pick it up, I pay. If the customer picks it up, you pay. So you can decide who pays. Durban, PE, Cape Town, Katu, Welkom. We've done a lot of business Namibia side. We've done a lot of business Botswana side, but then we'll simply drive the car to the border. We'll prepare all the paperwork for you to go across and take your car into wherever you're going. We'll prepare that part with zero costs for delivery. It's free delivery nationwide. It's been that way for many years and it's not changing. Okay, Brandon Hinnan. The new decision of diesel wholesale in the last year, I lost 500K a month GP due to the suppliers not meeting the demand. I'm about to give up. How do I stay motivated? So, Brandon, this is actually an industry that I'm researching. Um, I'll say this, I won't say his name, but the person that brought in one of the most popular clothing items in the country 20 years ago. And he has brought in, if you open your cupboard and you've got 10 different shirts, 8 out of those shirts were brought into the country by him. An amazing business person, an absolute freaking animal and a disruptor. And this industry is ripe for disruption. I don't know the nitty gritties, but I always look inwards and I'll explain to you how I tractioned out of a situation where I found myself when interest rates went back to back to back to back, 11 times up in a row. So there was 11 interest rate increases in a row in our industry, automotive industry. And we sell installments. It was so rough that at one stage, and I'm not proud of this, but I'll say it on camera, it doesn't matter because I've done it. It was so rough that I had to, on the phone, say to a woman, 200 Rand difference in your installment is not money. It's not important. Where we were back and forward because she wanted to pay 4,500 a month and it was 4,700. And I said to her, okay, we're shouting at each other now. It's not going to help anyone. Let me ask you one thing, Tani. Do you smoke cigarettes? So she says, what does that have to do with it? I said, do you smoke cigarettes? Yes. How much are cigarettes a day? Why? I said, how much are cigarettes a day? And she said what the number was. I said, cool. I think you should smoke less and buy a quality car. You can't tell me what to spend my money on. I said, I can't. But if you're going to make a fuss out of 200 Rand, then you shouldn't be aiming for 4.5. You should buy 3 grand a month car because you're living on the breadline. Is it that bad? She says, yes. I said, don't buy this car. And I hung up the phone and I refused to sell that woman a car. It was a fight. I said to the salespeople, if I catch you selling to the surname, I'll fucking fire you. This woman cannot afford this car, 200. So it was that rough. What did I go and do to go and stabilize everything? We had to resell. So I'm not sure whether you're losing customers purely based on price, which I think you are, because it's not really. There's a lot of these newcomers that are coming in, undercutting prices and working for peanuts. If you're losing customers to price, now I hope I don't offend you, and I don't want to kick you when you're down. You need to look inwards and find out, how do I service these clients better? Can I at least match that price? And will they give me an opportunity to serve them and service them going forward and stabilize in the near future? How do I do that? If you can afford to, because sometimes you need to take a step back to take 5 forward. So if you're losing customers purely based on price, your game is a volume game. How many 100,000 liters of diesel does this XYZ company pump, transport company, whatever it is? And if I'm getting it 5 cents cheaper there and I pump 100,000 liters a month, you're going to lose it. So go and knock on those doors until your fingernails and your knuckles bleed to make sure that you rekindle those relationships. And at least you can put it into it to them. Message, text, I want to come and see you, drive to them. I value your business. Here's where we are. I know we're being undercut. Are you happy with my service? If it was purely based on price, who would you go with? That's the question. If it's purely based on price and I can match the price, who would you go with? And if the answer is you need to go back. Another thing, we went from having 256, 260 people down to 160 at became twice as profitable. Sometimes when you grow, when you expand, all you want to do is put warm bodies in seats. I made that mistake. It was the worst mistake that I've made in business. Just employ more. The pressure is high. Put more people. Get more people to do the same job because I didn't have the right person to do that type of job. For example, our marketing team went from a team of 9 to a team of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Mm.
So from 9 to 5, and we 6x, so 6 times more views in the last 12 months. Okay, so almost half the size, 600% increase. The right leader, Elena, she's on this. She's on the Zoom. She's big sister over watching us. The right responsibilities to each team member doing what they do best and allowing them to actually cross pollinate. So each person can give ideas to the other department without someone blocking it all, and it has to channel through one person. So the right leader, 6x, 6x amount of views with half the team. Okay. Perhaps you should look at your staff. Are you top heavy? Are you managing everybody correctly? Are they hitting deliverables? And just cut away the fat. There's still fat in our company, lots of it. And each and every day, I manage to cut away a little bit, a little bit. You can never take an axe, cut away half your company. But if you manage their expectations up front, times are tough. This is a decision that not only dealers, leaders are scared to have. Coming, times are tough. This is where our numbers are. This is where they are currently. This is how much money we're losing each and every month. I cannot afford to hold this ship down anymore. We will sink. So from today on, these are the deliverables. We're going to measure it bi-weekly, performance review everybody monthly, because this is now a critical time where you're either going to make it or break it. So relationships, actually going and rekindling those relationships. Don't think that Umyani will buy from you because he's been buying from you for 20 years, but you haven't gone to see Umyani in 3 years because things are shut. Umyani is leaving you. You need to go and knock on the door, rekindle that relationship, make sure that you over deliver on service, stuff that you can't control the price. You can't control me going to Yanni and undercutting you with 5 cents a liter. You can't. You don't have control over that. But you can control relationships. So that Umyani phones you and says, Bob's, listen up. Um, sorry, man, I've got an offer at 100,000 liters a month. 5 cents equates to this. It's a lot of money I'm about to make if I go with that person. I want to let you know that this is presented to me before I make the decision. You need to be aware. You need to know why I'm leaving you. So appreciate the 15 years of relationship, but I can't manage if I don't get the 5 cents because he's also under pressure. That's when that conversation happens. Yanni, before you jump ship, I'm going to come and see you. Let's see where we can meet each other halfway. If the price is the same, would you buy from them? You don't know what you're getting. Would you continuously buy from me and I'll over deliver as promised from them? Brother, I believe in you. You can get through this. I'm so sorry you find yourself in this situation. It is fucking tough. It's very, very tough. You need to double down. You need to make sure that you over deliver on what you can control, especially on the expense side. If you can go and cut the expenses, you know where the low hanging fruit are. We don't need this. We don't need this. I don't need 4 cars in my garage. I don't sell all that shit. Okay. Sell all of it. Make sure that you're running a lean, mean, entrepreneurial machine. Best of luck to you, brother. Okay. Sharky, hi on Bob's. Your opinion on someone taking a business loan to expand business, good or bad? I would like to know more information about the business, but I'll give you some surface level things to think about. Are you taking out the loan to buy more stock? If you are and you have the demand, but you are struggling with the supply, take out the loan. If you can manage supply, but you're taking out the loan to supplement the demand, don't take out the loan, because you're going to get some or other retarded marketing agency that promises you the world and charges your money to say, if you pay me 100K a month, I'll generate this many views. Trust me, I've been there, I've done that. I've got a whole cupboard full of t-shirts. The moment we brought it inside and gave it to capable people that are managing everything to the last cent, sales went up. So if you have the demand for whatever it is that you do, and you need the money to supplement the supply, take out the loan, supply the demand, and kick ass. But if you are managing the supply, but you need the demand, marketing, advertising, hiring of new people, because it takes a minute to get the people, even if they've got very good experience. I've hired rock star sales. I've hired the number one sales leader in our industry with a CV as long as our street. He is the absolute serial killer with the best CV ever. It was the worst decision I ever made, and I paid millions for it because he almost killed my company. And he's a guy, if I say the name, everybody in our automotive industry and where he works, and the amount of units that he drives, he almost closed down our doors. We were headed in a very bad direction once I gave him the steering wheel for sales. Once I kicked him off, I fired him. Once I took over the steering wheel again, I understand my culture, I understand my vision, I understand. I'm not bragging to you, I don't need to. Putting the customer first before you put profitability is the only way. 2024 and 2025 and relationship dealer reputation of the year awards are won. It's the only way. There is no shortcut, there's no other way to win. The moment you put profitability first and units first, you lose long term. So it takes a minute for new people, new hires to come in and actually understand where you're going. It's not in a week or 2 weeks or 2 months. It takes 6, 12, 18 months for someone to be really wired in the same wavelength as you are, depending on the seniority. So if you want to take out a loan to supplement supply, do it if the demand is there. If it's vice versa, create the demand first where your supply needs the actual funding, and then you can do it. I hope I helped you, brother. Uncle B, apart from organic content, what is your ROI on paid ads and what platforms return the most? I love your fucking question, brother. It's very, 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 very intrusive and very invasive. It's my man. He asks good questions. He's always on here. Okay, from a dealership. Okay, I'll tell you this. The moment that we took, can I share? Let me share this. Let me share this stat. I'm not going to say the platform.
Okay.
But the moment that we took away the marketing agencies and the exterior leaders, and we gave it to the team inside on one of the platforms, our conversion ratio went from 1,530 rand per conversion to 150 per conversion. So 1.5 to 150 rand, which effectively means we reduced each and every sale, cost of sale, from 1.5 to 150, okay, in one of the platforms. And that was the best performing platform. That just watered down into everything else because now we've got a team of absolute serial killers in what they do, and they just drive costs up because they've got their foot on the pulse here. Very hard to do, but that's just one of my metrics. I won't let you look up my skirt more than that, but I hope it helps you, brother. Okay, what's your take on property business rental? So, not much experience in it. I won't try and speak about a topic that I'm not an absolute expert in. I've got a lot of people that are close to me that do really, really well. One of my best friends has a property portfolio, Excel spreadsheet. It goes like this with townhouses and units. Okay. He's an absolute rock star. He's been doing it for 20 years plus. He understands the market. He knows when to buy, where to buy, what to buy, how to buy, how to leverage this one's equity into the next one. He prints money, but he's been doing it for 20 years. I don't have enough info and intel um, to get into that. I've helped. I've helped as far as I can with advice. One of my colleagues, I mentioned his name earlier, he's got rental properties that he built rooms for student accommodation on one of his properties. He's doing really, really well. He's got some tenant issues, but that, knew that from the beginning. But I don't want to go and give you advice or a point of view on the topic that I'm not an expert in. So I apologize. I can't give you much more value than that. What I suggest is you go and speak to someone that's actually killing it. See if there's a consultation that you can do with them, a paid version of it. Spend some time with that person and ask high quality questions. Don't say, how did you make, Excel spreadsheet full of properties? He'll just tell you 20 years, lots of hard work, sleepless nights, 100-hour weeks, and that helps you far more. So have your questions prepared and get really into the intricate details of what you want to ask him or her. Okay, Richie 200. Thanks, Uncle Bob. Great advice. I think the toughest time to keep pushing is when you are far ahead in knowledge and experience, but have to wait for the finances to catch up. So another thing that PBD taught me is this. So right before I joined his mentorship program and I became one of the 8 people that he personally mentors, right before then, our business plateaued. So it took me 14 years to get to 100 cars per month. After the consultations with him, it took me 9 months to get to 200 cars per month. So 14 years to get to 100 cars, 9 months to go past 200 cars. Just to give you the concept and the perspective of working with a mentor that's actually killing it, that has proven results, that is every day in the trenches doing what he does, and is willing to share his experiences at a cost. Okay. And he taught me this: when you are doing really well, you are not as good as you think you are. And when you're doing really poorly, you're not as bad as you think you are. It's always somewhere in the middle. So when you're doing poorly, you're not as bad as you think you are. It takes time to create momentum. It takes a minute for you to consistently wake up at every time at the same time, control your mornings, give the input in, give the follow up. Just do what needs to be done on a written out plan. A couple of months later, a year or two later, you'll see the tables turn. So he helped me grow from 100 to 200 plus 300. We did wholesale. We touched 400 calls. That was a fucking disaster. The moment I split wholesale, retail, I was running all over the place. I was actually losing my happiness because when I wholesale cars, it's quick money. It's right now. I've got cash flow to buy the next one, but eventually the focus starts going there. The focus goes less into the retail. Salespeople don't have enough stock on the floor. Salespeople are unhappy because I'm never available for them. They can't come and bounce ideas off me. They can't come and get help with cars. It was a freaking nightmare. One morning I woke up, I said, I cannot go on like this. I need to pick. And it was a very easy pick. It took me 0.00001 second. I don't want to do wholesale. The auction stuff that we do is selling our trade-ins. That's a bunch of fun. But that's a different type. I'm talking 200-300 cars wholesale a month. That is like 10 a day, actively, 27 buyers, national buyers, getting it from Durban, putting it on a platform, digital platform, auctioning off those vehicles to the dealers, then chasing them for money. Then they want a pink invoice, then they want a green invoice. Then the DP is busy chopping the F&I, can't sign. It's a fucking mess. I said, no more wholesale. I focus purely on retail. This is how I need to do it. This is what I want. This is the expectation. That's all I'm going to do. So different type of answer, but I hope you got some value out of it. Do we have more questions? Am I very behind?
Yeah, so far.
Uncle B, what is your opinion of Korean cars? I love Korean cars. Korean cars, LZ, are Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Bentley. Don't hit me again. So yeah, we had a Hyundai Tucson, and I asked Elsie on one of the videos, where does this car come from? Where was it made? She said Germany. So Korea.
It's
So,
same with Roy.
yeah, well, that was a good
And then
guess.
somebody commented and said, how would a German say Tucson.
How would a German say Tucson? I don't know. I'm not going to attempt it, but I love Korean cars. Nothing wrong. Been in the market for a long time. No problems. Uncle B, what car are you driving home today? I'm actually driving the enemy's car. So it's a Merc. I'm driving a new shape E-Class, which, by the way, I freaking love. It's got a screen like bigger than the TV behind me. It's got the most kick-ass sound system. Listen, man, if a car doesn't have a good sound system, it's not for me. Apple connected on the phone with the car, 50 cent on maximum, and I'm chasing home, going to answer WhatsApps as soon as I get home. So, yeah, cool question. I'm very blessed. I drive a different car every day. Normally, 99% of the time, I'll drive new stock. So when the car gets picked up somewhere in the country or dropped off somewhere, they'll drop it off at the depot. Team will wash it for me. And I've got a few things that I check that I report back to Henry at the depot. I'll tell him this car shudders or there's a vibration, whatever, at 130, because I only drive 130, right? At 130, there's an issue, or I can feel a brake shudder, or I can feel a squeak, or whatever. Then I'll give them a report what I felt for the night. But that's like the best part of my job. I never drive a car twice, except on Saturday and Sunday. I'll use the same car to go home with on Saturday, and then Sunday use it, bring it back to um, bring it back to the dealership. But tonight it's the enemy's car, E200 new shape, very cool car. Bought a car from you guys. Which option is better between letting you guys drive it here to Western Cape or then put it in the truck? So again, great question. So putting it on a truck will take maybe 2 to 3 days longer. Out driving it there, we've got the best drivers in the world, but it has happened in the past. The stone shoots up from the other side of the highway, hits the windscreen, and we have to get there, scramble, put a new windscreen on, get a puncture. Anything can happen on the road. But 99 times out of 100, there's no incidents. They drive normally very early in the morning, and we've got special software that monitors their speed, etc. They drive at 100 kilometers, 110, 120 max per hour. We deliver the car very quickly and safely if we drive it, but the truck is ultimately safer. Just takes 2 to 3 days. I know that you want your car yesterday, but that's the choice that you're going to have to make. And if you want me to maybe prioritize your car, just shoot me a WhatsApp later with whoever is helping you what car it is, and I can try and put it on the truck as early as possible. But thank you very much for this. I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
304.
214 viewers. Okay, cool. New Hilux rate or hate? New Hilux rate or hate? I'll always love a Hilux. It's 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 impossible to hate the new Hilux. People say it's a Isuzu in disguise. And listen, man, Toyota has perfected the segment. No one does it better. No one. Most reliable, lasts forever. Yes, they perhaps don't have the best tech. You've got some Chinese brands with like a lot better tech than even Toyota. They've just perfected it. I mean, think about it this way. If there's a war in the Middle East, Toyota sales increase because they want to use those Hilux package to put 50 cars at the back and RPGs at the back and drive them through the desert and through the mountains and whatever the fuck they need to drive it over. It is the best package by far. That comes with its risks, though. So we all know what it is. Theft, hijack, stealing them the whole time. It is what it is because they're popular. There's so many on the road. Parts are in demand. There's some of the parts. I think if they completely change the suitability of the engine gearboxes to the commercial stuff, the quantums, if they literally can't pair with each other, it might help a little bit, but not a lot, because I think long term, what's happening with those vehicles is they're getting stolen, hijacked here, and they're going over the border where they actually legalize the paperwork and they get sold at dealerships, at a dealership level. You have your Hilux Legend 50 stolen in Centurion. A couple of months later, it will be, um, let's say, in Namibia or Tanzania, and it gets sold at the dealerships. Bro. How they do it, I don't know, but it's possible they do it. But you can't hate on the Hilux, man. If you do, then Probably just a hate. I would love to see one in real person, drive it, but for me, my opinion, it's very cool. Werner Kutsia, what to do if the vehicle is more than what it's worth but can't afford it anymore? What is the plan? You need to downscale, and the fact that the vehicle is worth less than what you owe, you need to go and make sure that you understand the calculation I'm about to give you. Let's say, for example, it's 50,000 Rand more. You want to go from an installment of 8 to 6, from 8 to 5. The perfect blend will be on a vehicle that can actually accommodate that shortfall. So 50,000 Rand already is 1,000 Rand on your installment on the new car. So if you want to go from 8 to 5, you need to buy a car that's 4,000 a month. Loading the 50,000 will be 5,000 a month. The trick comes in, the dealership needs to be an expert, and they need to understand the, obviously your affordability will pass through the bank because you're currently paying 8 grand a month. The equity part is the trick. So the equity part works this way. After loading the 50,000 Rand on top of the selling price, is it within the achievable equity parameters for your risk profile? If you are super low risk, super duper low risk, for 40% over retail is enough. So if the car retails for 4 grand a month, if the car retails for 200,000 Rand and you're super low risk, okay, go 40%. So you load the 50 on top, no problem. But if it goes over the equity, then the dealership will be required to get you validated and send out a contract, a deposit to minimize that difference, that buffer, the gap between when they're financing the car and the actual allowed equity jump. So to bring it down to 40%. So to give you perspective, if you owe 50 more, it's a 200,000 Rand car. It will go to 250. If that vehicle's retail is, let's say, for example, 200, then you are within the range if you're a low risk customer to finance the 250. It's going to be 5 grand a month. You're out of the woods for now. And then once you restructure and organize yourself a little bit better, you can always then go and trade it. Then you'll still carry that 50,000 with you to the next trading plus interest unless you drive it for 4 years. So that's the danger. Lots to think about. Is this going on Midmax Facebook straight after we stop? So if you want to particularly back and listen to what I explained, you can go and watch it on Midmax Facebook page, only Midmax Facebook page. It will be posted there so that you can go. How many minutes? We're exactly an hour into our life, so you can just more or less forward the last 4 minutes, 5 minutes of our conversation. But keep your head up, brother. It happens for you, not to you. We all go through some shit. As long as you're positive and you work really, really hard, I hope you come out of this jam very, very quickly. Now, I lost where the questions are. Okay, let me just find it quickly. Sorry, guys. Paid ads, rental properties, experience the wait for finance to catch up, helping Korean cars, boom, truck, Hilux. Okay, there we go. I got it back. Zam Zakman. Okay. Uncle B, hey Uncle B, knowing what you know now, would you have done differently in business if you were to start over again? Uh, it's a cool question, but I wouldn't do anything differently. Even I would have still hired that rockstar sales leader with the biggest CV that almost ruined my company. I would have still hired him because out of that, so many valuable lessons that are, and as a human, he's a beautiful human. I'll never badmouth him. He's a wonderful, wonderful person. He's kind. As a human, he can take my kidney. I'll give my kidney, no problem. But in business and in the position that I hired him for, I had to make that mistake to be able to take the lesson going forward, not to make it 70 times. So would I do things differently? I wouldn't do anything differently. I'm happy with where we are now, and I'm happy to have made the mistakes that I've made. I wouldn't want to not make one of them. Um, I think if I skipped one of those mistakes, for example, not have hired him, I don't think I'm a stronger leader in our company today unless I was like literally nearly crushed. It was very close. It was, I promise you, it was a couple of months. Then it would have been a different conversation with you guys now, but I wouldn't do it any other way. Now, cool question. Thank you. Hi, Uncle Bobby, I started in college buying and reselling electronics in Facebook Marketplace. I would like to go bigger and scale into selling cars. What would your principles be to have in mind? First of all, the most important part, especially where you are currently, is not to buy a cloud or stolen vehicle. Any experienced dealer that's got momentum, we bought 40, but we survived each and every hit. It was fucking hard. It was so irritating. It was really, on me, it was very rough on me. Like each one was worse than the other one. After 14 of those, it was borderline unbearable. So my advice to you will be make sure that wherever you are getting the source of the vehicles, it can't be Facebook Marketplace. Because the car is not a cell phone. If you use a cell phone, it's fine. You'll recover the money in a week or two and carry on. Sometimes you go all in on a car, all in on one car. And if that car is stolen and cloned, or cloned, the vehicle will be impounded and you lose all your money. The chances of you recovering that money is very close to zero. It's like a decimal. It's not even a small percentage, it's a decimal. Okay. So make sure that whoever you are buying the car from, it's a real car, it's a legit car. Then I'm talking thousands of hours of research on Auto Trader. Just you need to know and understand the market. When does the car come on? How long it takes to sell? Why would the person buy from you, a private individual selling that type of car, and not from a dealership? Are you better at pricing? Are you better at condition? Better at marketing? Are you better on the phone? Are you better following up? Can you arrange finance? All these things you need to consider. And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying do it because this industry has changed my life, my family's lives, and countless other families' lives because it's such a kick-ass good industry. Just very alert. You are, to put it this way, in the jungle when you enter, you're not even a buck that a lion will go and eat. You are a mouse that a bird will eat, a snake will eat. Like you need to be so paranoid in the beginning to make sure that you build up momentum that gives you a little bit of a buffer at the back. So, number one, make sure that you buy the vehicle from a reliable source that will stand further for that car. So, for example, you buy a car from me on auction, and I'm not saying buy a car from me on auction, I'm just giving you an example. You buy a car from me on auction, 60 grand car, you come and collect it. 3 months later, the cops take it because I slipped up and I didn't do homework properly. You need to say, Bob's, the cops took my car. You sold me this car. Here's the invoice. Here's the paperwork. I expect a refund. Here's your refund. There's a lot of dealers that will be doing it that way, but a lot won't. So that's the first part. The second part is before you even buy the vehicle, you need to have done so much research on that vehicle that it's never a safe bet, but it's almost a safe bet for you to invest your hard-earned money that you've hustled for years on that specific vehicle. And then take the leap of faith. Brother, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. You have to live with faith inside you. You have to be confident in your ability and your capability, and you make a few mistakes. You burn your fingers with one or two cars. I burn my fingers with cars every day. But you learn from your mistake, you take that lesson, and you just become better and better with more momentum and the more cars you run. So good luck. I hope you kill it. And I want to see you selling Lambos and Rolls Royces in the near future. Sell me one, please. Where did your love for BMW start? Where did your love for BMW start? Good question. And you need to also remember, I say that I'm driving the enemy's car tonight uh, and laugh about it, the enemy's car, because people know me as the BMW guy. I love all cars. The best car for me is a sold car because marketing gets to feed their family, Washpay gets to feed their family, I get to feed my family, salespeople get to feed their family. Everybody makes money on the sold car. What we've done really, really well is we've created a rivalry but I've done it in a way that it's finesse. So I don't know if it's my personality or the fact that I just don't give a you know what, whether you put a good comment or bad comment on our social, like it doesn't even phase me. A good comment will be nice. A bad comment, like literally, I don't care. Like you took time out of your busy day, uncle, yesterday, the guy that posted that Bobby's all talk and no action. You took time on a Sunday, okay, on a busy Sunday when you should be spending it with your family at home, to go and write a negative comment on a man's post on the internet. You are literally pathetic. But I'll entertain it because it's like a relief for me. So I go look at his profile. I see that he looks like a cheeseburger. He's probably got 60% body fat and he's shitting on me. No problem. I appreciate your comment, Uncle. But it looks like, I'm the one that only talks and no action. And it looks like you are only cheeseburgers, fries, and a Coke. Same. He's like, shit, this guy's not a keyboard warrior like me, deletes his comment. And we carry on with life. But the moment we started creating this rivalry, I understood 50% of everybody watching this will give me shit. So how do I do it in a finesse way so that it's like water off a back's duck? Inside seat, we sell twice as many Mercs than we do BMW. I don't know why. Twice as many Mercs than we sell BMWs on paper. I don't know why. I can't explain it to you. But people enjoy the way that I banter and I do it as respectfully as possible. And if I do cross the line, and I've crossed it many, many times, I apologize. And if you want to go and post negative shit on my social media, it's like, go for it. I literally couldn't care less. If I tried, I couldn't care less. Sometimes I'll engage you because I'm bored, or because I've got 2 minutes, or because I just want relief. It's like a joke to me. This guy took time to go and post a negative comment on another man's social media platform to feel good about himself and feel very strong and macho. And, that's the level of like retardation that's throwing hate on me. Like the only time I accept hate or critical feedback is from people that are ahead of me in the area that they're giving me hate or feedback from. I'll take your hate or feedback from, and those people normally always do it in private. So I have real top G's DM me to say, Bob, I don't agree with what you just said here because factually, boom, 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 boom. Young man, you need to improve on your messaging. You are not going down the correct path. I want to see you win, but you're fucking up here. Like if I show you a DM like that, the hair on my hand stands up, and then I'll message the person back. I'm like, this is invaluable. Can I send you something? How do I say thank you to you? You kick me in the balls. I literally can't breathe how hard you kick me, but I'll take this. Not some random idiot that says I'm just talking, no action, with no results of his own to go like, yeah. So creating the rivalry is good for me, good for the company, good for the brand, because it's done in a way that is tactful. It's not it's not offensive to the point where I'm climbing in your character. Okay, when I go behind the A200 and I say to you, this car is fucking fake exhaust. Look here, it looks like an exhaust, but there's a little thing there underneath the bumper, this small, and then inside it's got noise resonator, so it sounds like a fast car, but it's a noise resonator coming from your radio speakers. Like, holy shit, where did we go wrong? People are like, yeah, it's still a cool car, but don't put these massive exhausts at the back that are fake. And then everybody has enough. And then we move on with life. Okay, we've got 20 minutes left. Okay, looking to buy an M140i. Power. The one I'm looking at has crazy high mileage. Any advice when it comes to buying high performance, high mileage cars? The first thing that comes to mind is, does that vehicle have documented service history? Documented without any major gains. So I'll tell you about the dude that gave me this watch. This one here. It's a tag. It's my first nice watch I received. I've bought more tags than I can. I've probably bought 35, 40 tags. If I walk into Menlo at the vault, The people they know me by first, second, last name. They are excited to see me because they're about to make it. I've never bought myself a tag. I've got a couple of four, five maybe. Never, four, four tags. I've never bought one, but I've bought many. Okay. The first time I got a nice watch like this, it's this one. The guy sold me a Porsche. It was what I considered a friend, a Porsche Macan. Okay. The car, when he sold it to me, had 65,000 kilometers on it. So here's how you check service history. At Porsche, the car was serviced up to, I think, 50,000 kilometers, then serviced elsewhere up to 180. So the car had 180 on the clock. He then saw this. He took a chance. He turned back the kilos to 65, sent the car to Porsche. Porsche sees this car with 65,000 kilos. They do the service, they stamp the book. He gives me the car with full service history, but there's a massive gap of a couple of years. You know, where, what the fuck did this, what happened with this car? No, just stood in stores. The customer didn't use it. Okay. And then I do some digging because he's a friend. I don't do these checks with him. It's on me. It's not on you because I don't expect a friend to stab me in the back and break the you know, the knife piece and throw the handle in a fucking river. So when we do the checks, we pick it up, and I just sent him screenshots. I phoned him. I said, listen, I don't want to have a big thing about this. This is what it is. Okay. You did this. This is how I prove it to you. He wants to, you know, speak over me. I said, please, I don't want you to fucking speak. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to pay me back my money. The car is left safely at the dealership. I don't want you to come fetch the car because I don't want to see you for the rest of my life because you did this to me and I consider you a friend. Okay. I want you to come fetch the car and then I want you never to find me again. And a week before that, he bought me a Tag Heuer watch because I helped him. I brokered the deal for him on a very expensive Aston Martin where he made 250,000. That friend of mine. He needed the car. I knew who owned the car. I negotiated the deal. I got him a great deal for that. I connected the two. Said, you're a homie. I don't need anything. I don't want you to pay me a chop. Are you crazy? Pay me 5 grand spotters fee. Get the car. Go and make money. Gave me the swatch and then tried to screw me the next week. Never spoke to him again. So when it comes to high performance cars, gaps in the service history in the year is a red flag. Another thing that you should never ever do is, especially on a high performance car, is buy a modded car. Now, very few people keep the 140s and the 235s and the 135 standard. Like literally very few. There is always that one fricky that puts a downpipe and an in-performance exhaust and some software and all this other stuff. Drives me crazy. But if you can find full service history, documented, standard car, maybe. Otherwise, just do the investment, you know, spend a little bit more money, get a lower mileage. It is safer. I hope I helped you and I hope I gave you some advice on mileage. Any 5 series available. We bought the most beautiful. It's called Space Gray, 520D with an aero kit. I saw it on a group today. I know that me and Moss were chasing that car last week. So if it's not on our website, it's an arriving soon. Shoot me a WhatsApp and I'll send you photos and description and details from our group, from our actual sales group. Beautiful car. That space gray with that aero kit with the side. Looks like an M5, but it's a 520D. Your 520D is hands down like one of the best sedans. Um, Opinion on second-hand Porsche Boxsters. So we sold one last week. We had one with acro pipes on. I bought it from someone that had bought it for their wife. It's new. I sold it to a homie. He never used the car. Used it maybe 5,000 Ks in 2 years. Bought it back, sold it to a very cool couple. He actually messaged me today, said, Uncle Bobs, it's been 2 weeks. Where are my papers? I'm like, I don't know where your papers are, homie. But I know who knows. Screenshot, send it to the manager. He's out. They're sorting him out. The paperwork got delayed. He should get his papers this week. But Porsches in general, man, I love the brand. It's a car that doesn't age. It literally, you go and sit in a Cayenne with 100,000 Ks on the clock. Obviously not driven by a retard, because a retard will mess everything up. But driven by a decent person, 100,000 kilometers K, the seat is not warm, the dash is lacquer, there's no scratches everywhere. Now, my beloved brand BMWs, if you use a lot of hand cream, all the door handles, all the buttons that you touch, eventually that hand cream like perishes the button. It's true. If you're not in your head, you know. That's why we have a whole team, LeatherTech, to go and replace panels. We buy new buttons all the time. We fix door handles. It's a thing. So especially women cars, they use a lot of hand cream. So Porsche, man, it's just freaking excellent. So if the Boxster has documented service history, um, they're lovely cars. That one with the acro pipes, I drove probably, yeah, sold it 2 weeks ago. So before we sold it, I went home with it, went to the gym, and it was a thing. It was 6:30 in the morning. I came out, put the roof down, and then I just went on the Platinum Highway, the back, doing legal speeds, legal-ish speeds. It was just freaking amazing, man. I still took a selfie, posted it on socials, and one of our top fans immediately put a BMW badge on the seat. You can see it's a Porsche logo, a BMW badge, chain, cigar, snore, mustache, cap backwards. It was like the funnest picture ever. But yeah, I love the brand. It's just phenomenal. It's very cool car. Boom, 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 boom. Hi, Bobby. What is the best month to buy a brand new Bucky with all the new current specials? New year question mark. So, similar question to the one just a couple of questions ago. If you can negotiate with your dealership to allow a permit, so normally, unless you've got a very good relationship, normally the first week in December is the best time because December for the automotive industry historically are not very good on sales. They're not the best ones. So you'll be able to squeeze them for a price, number one, but most important, number two, they might agree to sell you the car on a permit, which means they'll keep the registration back. They won't register as a 2025. They'll make it a 2026. Make sure that if they agree to that, they agree in writing. Because I've heard horror stories and I've had people like coming to me very angry and upset. He promised me if they registered as a 2025, just remember January there's a book value. You've lost between 50 and 80,000 rand. So if they put it in writing that they will not register the car until Jan, sweet, do it. What's your opinion on the Suzuki Fronx? Love the car. We can't keep up. We sell literally tens, hundreds of them we've sold already. Very nice car. I like the design. I like the way that it drives. The tech inside is nice. It's like it is a Toyota, and Toyota style cars is a Fox. They share the DNA. It's not as appealing to the eyes as a Chinese car with a fancy camera and screen, but it's like bulletproof. It won't break. It's got a great engine that's not very heavy on fuel. Comparing it to the Chinese vehicles, that 1500 in those big bodies, you need to understand that it will be heavier on fuel than a Fronx or Toyota Solid. I love the car. Very, very nice. My favorite color is that burnt orange with a black roof, black wheels. Man, it's gangster AF. I love it. Buy one. Buy one. Mid-Mac Motors. I'm kidding. Buy one. Buy a Fronx, man. You won't be spayed. Uncle Bobby, next time, if not today, kindly explain the Moisa and they can assist customers. Motor Industry Ombudsman of South Africa. Motor Industry Ombudsman of South Africa. I'll explain it to you in 2, 3 minutes. This is an organization that has to be fair to both sides. Now, when I say has to be fair to both sides, it means they have to be fair to both sides. So the first approach that you should take is not go and threaten the dealership. If you don't, then I'll go to Moisa. I've got a problem. Here's my problem. I'll give you a scenario. Let me think of some scenarios where we've allowed a customer to go to Moisa. We had one recently. Customer buys a B class, drives it for a while. A couple of months later, the customer comes back and says, I wanted to actually buy a Mercedes Benz and not a Hyundai i20. Okay. mileage is increased. There's obviously wear and tear, there's damage on the car. I want my money back because I bought a Merc and not an I-20. So go drive with the car. Everybody's happy. The car drives like a B class should. A B class is the I-20 of Mercedes Benz. If you wanted the real, effortless drive, buy a S500. That's a that's a Rolls Royce rival. A B class, front wheel drive Mercedes Benz. That is not a S class. Now, someone in the family has an E class, and the expectation is the B class should drive like the E class. So we make the customer offer. Obviously, they've driven, and we offer that customer 10,000 Rand less than what she paid for it, which is not a lot. Huge fight, threatens with lawyers. I'm going to go to Moisa. Go for it, no problem. Can't give you your money back. You've used the vehicle for a couple of months. Mileage is climbed. There is damage. Go to Moisa. Go do your thing. So Moisa will never rule in that person's favor. I mean, the expectation on paper is my friend's E class drives nicer than a B class. I bought a Mercedes. I want the car to drive like that car. Sometimes it's very maybe it's like a. I believe that it's and we try hard, man. Sometimes there's just a language barrier, culture barrier, where the communication can't be in a way that is eloquent and effective. And some people are just they wake up angry and they're angry at the world. You're just part of their world that they're angry at. So that's a case Moisa will just throw in the dustbin and carry on with life, which is sad because I don't want to lose that customer. I want that customer to continuously buy from us. But as a business, I have to make a decision that I can't allow a person to take a car, drive it 4 months, has damage on the vehicle, puts up the mileage, and then bring it back because it doesn't drive like their friend's E-Cross, which costs 5 times more. Okay. Now, on the flip side, where Moisa is friendly to customers or fair and rules in the customer's favor is if that dealer's made shit, if the dealer has not acted in accordance to the rules and regulations and sent you to Moisa, Moisa will rule in your favor. But the first approach should be nice with the dealer. This is where I'm unhappy. This is what my expectation was. It's not met. The car is broken, or the year models, whatever I don't know what your scenario is. But Moisa is a very, very effective, unfortunately, very busy department. So sometimes a case will take long and it's frustrating because you still need to pay for that car. It's a frustrating process, not because they suck, because they're so busy. But I believe in them. We remember we've had multiple meetings with them. We've helped them out on some scenarios where we give an opinion on a case. Very, very good association. Great people that work there. It's a process simply because they're very busy. So if you ended up at Moisa and you didn't talk to the dealer, that's the first step. I wish you good luck and I hope it all works out and it's resolved fairly quickly. All right. Edward Russ. Edward Russ. Oh my gosh. Edward Russ used to work here. I hope it's you, brother. I miss you. So if it's you, I'm not sure. But if you worked here and went to work at the furniture place where you sold me that kick-ass couch with the ottoman, you were right. The couch is the bomb. So I'm still using it and it's lacquer. So if it's that Edward Russ, what is the biggest change you made in your overall operations that scaled you to the next level? So number one, getting the right mentor to help me organize me, because that's how the business grows. If my head is organized and strategically I'm making the right moves at the right time, driving the people that I have around me the correct way, and making sure that I'm constantly cutting fat, I'm I'm doubling down and pouring onto the people my knowledge and skill set that actually deserve it, and walking away from people that are your brothers. Okay? So getting the right mentor, helping me arrange my head, because it starts from the leader. What do I do first? Then what do I do? How do I drive sales managers? How do I drive this sales manager? It can't be the same as this. It can't be the same as this. The one sales manager shares Busta Rhymes songs with me. He's like, when last did you hear this fucking banger? Then he shares it with me. I'm like, holy shit, This is legit. Do you remember this? The other sales manager, it was his birthday recently. He said to me this morning, he said, my dad bought me the John Maxwell Leadership Bible. That's amazing. So this leader does this leader does this. That's the relationship I have with him. The other sales manager who's as good and talented and as good of a human, she's Buster Rhymes songs with me. So I can't treat them the same. That's very important. Each person is driven differently and wired differently. So I have to push whatever he's passionate about, whatever he's passionate about. Because the only thing that I am is I'm an aid to help him and him achieve his goals. This one just got a baby. This one just moved into a new house, newly married. This one's not sleeping much. Okay, so sometimes send me a message like, okay, I didn't sleep. I'm late. Bro, thank you for waking up. Did you even sleep an hour? Barely. I really appreciate you coming and waging this war with me. He's late. So what? His baby kept him awake. With the other gent, it's different conversation. So getting the right mentor, helping me first. Compartmental. I'll get that word right one day. Compartmentalizing my head. What's important? What's urgent? There's a huge freaking difference. The moment I did that and drive people in the way that they want to be driven, no matter what mood I'm in, because I don't care, they shouldn't. Me taking 10 out of 10 pressure and passing it on to a sales manager, 10 out of 10, just proves that I'm weak. And I did that for years. So for example, if the bike team needs 4 million rand to pay cars on Wednesday, and we don't have the money because we've committed to 4 million, I can't go in a flat spin panic and rev the sales managers. I need 4 million rand, sell fucking cars. We need money. Do you know what I mean? So, gents, here's how you take 10 out of 10 pressure down to 5 each, which will equal the 10. So 10 out of 10 is we don't have the 4 million. We have to pay the cars by Wednesday night, 4 million. We only have 1.2. Gents, here's the stock that Mossy and the team has found. Do you like the stock? Yes. Okay, cool. Like I've got a customer ready for these cars. I know, brother. So we need to collect these vehicles on Wednesday. The challenge that we have, so I'm helping them take ownership of the problem, but not at a thing. The challenge that we have today is this is how much we have in the account, only 1.2 million. We need a seriously strong day. Today is Monday. Make sure that those customers are signed up, ready for payout, because if we get paid on Tuesday, anything before 3:30, this is real. This is a real thing. We bank with ABSA. Our main bank is with ABSA. So all the banks pay into ABSA. FNB, Standard Bank, West Bank, Nedbank, MFC, Marquis, all of them pay into ABSA. So the goal is we need the payouts to happen before 3:30 so that we can bank the money on Wednesday night and we can have 4 million rands worth of capital to go and fetch these cars on Wednesday because I work a day behind. So Monday's cars are collected with, it's an awkward time, but Monday's cars are collected with Friday's payouts. So that's how we work. Constantly flat foot to make sure we've got enough stock. Saturday's cars that we sold paid for Tuesday. Monday's cars that we sold, we get the payouts tomorrow. That gets paid for vehicles that we buy on Wednesday. So similar. That's how my compartmentalizing my head in terms of cash flow and budget is how my head works right now. Okay, I need your guys' help. I need your full buy-in to give me your absolute best. That we have 4 million rand Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, so that we can go and fetch this kick-ass stock. What do you have currently that you're currently struggling with that I can perhaps jump in and assist you? Trading price. What moves can I pull for you? Help me with these two. Help me with these. Right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the head F&I into this conversation because she needs to drive the payouts as soon as we sign up the deals. So we'll call her in. Here's where we are. This is what needs to happen. Okay, Bobs, I understand. Okay, these 2, 3 I can quickly fix because there's maybe 1 or 2 problems on the payouts. We can sort out the insurances, whatever the issue is. It could be a 1 of 100. If I do it that way, we have 6 to 8 million rand in our account on Tuesday night.
One,
If sorry,
1 minute remaining.
1 minute remaining. If I do it the shouty way, take 10, 10, 10, 10. We're not even going to have 2 million because everybody's working under so much anxiety. It's not even pressure. The pressure is we need 4 million. The pressure is not going away. It will 4 million can't become two unless we walk away from cost. The pressure is the same. The fact that no one works under anxiety is the key. That's the part where we where we're becoming good and we're becoming better. That's all the time we have for today. Is there lots more questions? I'm sorry, guys. Shit, there's like a ton of questions more. I'm sorry I couldn't handle them, but that's our 90 minutes. The reason why we do these is we give you value, we give you better than we found you. If you want me to unpack in your business, great detail, one of the strategies, many strategies that I've shared with you today, you can book me for a 90-minute one-on-one. I had a youngster this morning who came in and said to me, I want to walk around on the floor, have a coffee with you, and you can help me start my dealership. I said, no problem. And who is going to take care of these WhatsApps? So I turned my screen and I said to him, just wait 10 seconds. And then he just sees new, new, new. I take 2,500 to 3,500 WhatsApps a day. I can't do it during the day. If you want to book me for a consultation, it's a paid event. We do it in studio. We had one on Friday. We're having another one on Friday. It's a paid event. It costs 25,000 rand for 90 minutes. You can send me your questions. Currently, where you're struggling, raising funds, whatever it is, marketing, getting reach, understanding brand, marketing, advertising, driving salespeople, sales meeting. That's probably the best thing that I'll ever teach you. One of the best things. If you buy two of those for 50K, you get 3 90-minute sessions. If you're somewhere in the country that's far away, you can't come to our studio. It will be done on a Zoom where it's me and you processing for 90 minutes like this back and forward. I expect your questions at least 3 days before the time so that I can do my research and give you the utmost value of where you are to where you want to go, what you want to achieve, what are the holdbacks, what are the mistakes that I made at your level. We started the company from zero, one dealer of the year twice, reputation of the year, Hello Peter dealer of the year, 7 years in a row. I'll give you the value that I'm going to expect you. I can't show you crypto. I cannot show you property market. I can show you how to market because we've got property boys and girls that we help market their properties. But it's a paid event. If you want to book me, shoot me a WhatsApp 0825426659. 0825426659. I'll pass it over to the team. They're on my schedule. They'll tell me, Bobs, you need to be ready for this and this business. These are the questions. And we're doing it at 6 p.m. on Friday. So we do it after hours where I actually ignore my phone. If you come to the studio, it's a recorded event. Elsie will package it for you, send it off on a link. Great sound, great lighting. So if you miss something on the day or something goes over your head, you can go and rewatch it again. My intent is to train the trainer. So if you're a sales leader, I train you. The knowledge comes from your mouth. I'm your secret weapon, just like I've got many secret weapons as well. The knowledge comes from your mouth so that all your sales teams and the people that are working for you in your company, your colleagues, come to you for that knowledge and not to me. If that's your flavor, shoot, I could be a message and we'll book you for consultation. Between now and then, I've had fun.